Welcome to Chandwell. My name's Michael and I'm building the back of a commercial street for behind my station. I've finished planting the building that Liam from the Deansbury Town channel made for me. In this video I'm going to show the little details that I added to help it bed into the back of Market Street. I also took a trip to Bradford this week to see the real office building for myself and to be sure that it's not too small beside the much beefier Victorian buildings. So here is how I bedded in the building. Watch till the end for a sneak peek of what I'll be building next. I received a lot of comments last week about the bright yellow colour of the extension's brickwork. It's Scale Scene's modern cream brick, and I think that if I had seen the printed result before unwrapping the building, I'd have chosen brown brick instead. But it's here. I very gently brushed on tiny amounts of Humbrol smoke and white weathering powder. I used gentle downward strokes and a couple of soft brushes. A finger is also useful to add extra smudging if needed. I tried to keep it subtle and was successful to varying degrees. I've ended up with a building that does not shout yellow as much, and I think that it fits in with the rest of the street. I intended to add windows to this wall in place of the massive old roller door. This meant cutting the whole wall away. I was still thinking of what windows to put in when I was wandering through Ilkley last Saturday morning. Just next to the lovely stone-fronted Love Brownies shop is this. An awful, rendered concrete box. Featureless other than the remains of an old window, an air conditioner and a few boarded up doors. It's awful. It's exactly what I want in Market Street. I printed a new cover layer and stuck it over the hole. I added a rectangle of card to give it some strength, and then reinforced that with a bit more card. I intended to add the painted doors complete with graffiti, but I actually like the featureless wall. It's depressing, it's grotty, it sucks a bit of my soul every time I look at it. It is perfectly Chandwell. I tiled the roof using strips of Scale Scene's slate roof tiles texture. Gutters are just thinly cut strips of 1mm thick card, coloured in with a black pen. Once stuck to the side of the building, they don't pass close inspection, but they are guttery enough for the overall layout's feel. There wasn't space under the eaves of the ultra-low relief roof, so I just stuck it along the edge of the tiles. It seems to work just fine. Downspouts are just cereal packet. I colour the edge and both sides with a pen. Cut off a very thin slice. Draw a line of PVA using a ruler. And drop the sliver of card into place. Again, it doesn't pay to look too closely, but I like this technique. It's cheap and easy, and just right for the overall look of Chandwell. I used a bit of black card behind the windows so that you don't see the back scene right behind, and used PVA to plant the building into Market Street. After checking everything multiple times, I used a heavy box to keep it in the right place as the glue went off. I made a template for the street surface, and glued ribs to represent the gradually falling ground. I covered the ribs with PVA and placed the ground on top. It looks really good in place. I finished off with a bit more weathering. The ground works really well going into the recessed door. It's a really good match to Liam's existing surface. I added a few weeds, including a bit of a bush around the side, just like the real thing in Bradford. I love how this building has worked out. Considering we thought that it could not be used just a couple of short videos ago, this is super news. It still does look large compared to the office building of Riding's house next door, so I decided to go to Bradford to see the thing for myself. During the Industrial Revolution of the late 18th century, Bradford rose to be one of the richest cities in Europe, and its city centre buildings reflect that in their sheer size. They are enormous. This building is near to the office building, but this is not a normal size 2-storey building. This is a normal 2-metre doorway. This 2-storey building is higher than most 4-storey ones. So the compact 1960s office building is surrounded by buildings that are simply of a different scale and magnitude. In real life, it's clear to see just how small it is compared to its giant neighbours. I think the effect in Chandwell reflects reality quite well. And if you think Pockets looks a bit daft next to its neighbour, I present you Exhibit B, modern day B&M with huge savings, next door to this absolute beauty. The residents of Chandwell only need to look over the Chander towards Bradford and they won't feel alone in their crazy architectural choices. Obviously, modelling needs more than just reflecting reality. The overall scene needs to make sense. For me, it's all about the atmosphere of place, and I love the choices I have made in all of their strangeness. Market Street feels like somewhere I have really seen and smelt. Take a look at how it's changed since I outlined my original plans in this video. So what's next? Here's another look at my walk around Bradford. What's next is in here somewhere. Join me in my next video to see what it is. Until then, thank you for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.